say, you know, hey, I've been in this business for so much time, and over the last 3 or 5 years, I'm stuck. I'm in the same position. I'm in the same place. Are you going to have a solid foundation where you have multiple sources of business coming in 3 to 5 years from now? You know, are you going to have different sources of business coming in, or are you going to be doing the same things 3 to 5 years from now? Okay? Let me ask you this. What is one source that brings you a lot of leads and a lot of closed transactions at this time? So it's a question for all of you. What is one source of business right now that generates a lot of business for you at this time? Can anybody answer that for me? Database, past clients and center of influence. Yes, you're working. That's a big source of business. Anybody want to throw anything else out there? Doesn't matter, marketing, advertising, Facebook, I don't care. Is there a source of business right now that creates, you know, 3, 5, 10 deals for you a year? Okay. Referrals from? Center of influence referrals. Anybody want to throw anything else out there?
Prospecting.
Prospecting. What kind of prospecting? To who? Because prospecting can mean 20 different ways of making calls.
Expired, withdrawn, just sold, just listed.
Okay, so just sold, just listed, expired, withdrawn listings. Nice. So that's a source of business for you. So give me one source, John, that has created what for you in the last 3 months?
All of those with 11 listings.
11 listings taken and purely through over-the-phone prospecting.
Well, there's 2 office leads.
Okay, so office leads were 2 of the 11. The rest was purely prospecting.
Over the phone.
Over the phone. You just took an expired over the phone without meeting with them, and you just took that listing, right?
Yeah, she lives in Peru.
Nice. Okay, so did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You take a lot of business just over the phone, okay? Now, the ones who just gave me sources, okay, do you have a second source of business? So, John, do you have a second source of business?
No.
Okay, JP, do you have a second? You said database. It's a big business right now. Do you have a second source of business that comes in? Okay, so hold up here. Second source. So if a second source for you, Michael, is networking, what would be your first source?
Database.
Your database. Okay, so we got 2 sources here. Manny, what'd you say? Sitting down at Starbucks. And they come to you. Good. What is a third source in your business? What is a third source in your business? Think about it. Jennifer, is there a third source? Do you have source 1, source 2, and source 3?
Lead router.
Lead router. Okay, that's a source. Okay, so how many transactions does each source give you per year? Think about that. So if we only have a couple, how many transactions is that giving us? So let's say 3 years from now, you are doing 50 closed transactions, and each source of business gives you 5 closed per year. Then how many sources of business would you need to close 50 transactions a year? 10. Lydia says 10 transactions, okay? I'm sorry, 10 transactions, 10 sources of 5 transactions each would give you 50 closed transactions and would give you, in today's market, about $300,000 in income, okay? Who has 10 sources of business right now? Does anybody? Okay, if you're doing 100 closed transactions, how many sources would you need at 5 per source to do 100 transactions a year? Okay, 20 sources, right? So that's what I want you guys to start thinking about. Now, over the next 3 to 5 years, you create all these sources of business, and you do a great job cultivating and building your database and your past clients and center of influence. Let's just say to 500 past clients and center of influence. Let's just say we're talking about doing 50 transactions. How much will this one source provide you if you do a great job managing it? You build your database to 500. JP, you know the answer to this. You build your database to 500 past clients and center of influence. How much could that one source of business drive you per year?
10%.
10%.
50 deals.
50 transactions. Okay. So source 1, past clients and center of influence, give you 50 deals a year. And then you have 9 other sources that are giving you 5 deals each. How many transactions do you have now?
95.
That was good. Daniel, my analytical. Good. So let's just say this. Maybe you don't want to do 95 transactions in a year. I'm okay with that. Okay? Maybe you're okay with closing 75 deals a year. 75 closed transactions is about $500,000 in income. Now, who would say that $500,000 is a pretty good income? Who take that? All right, Brian, you'll take it? You're in. That's what I like. So now you're in a position, okay, you have 10 sources. One's giving you 50, okay? The other 9 are giving you 5. Now you're in a position, 3 to 5 years from now, where you can eliminate 4 sources. You can eliminate 3, you can eliminate 4. If you eliminate 4, you know, and you got 5 driving you at 5 deals each a year, that's 25 transactions. Now you're doing 75 deals a year, okay? So, for example, give me something you do today that takes a lot of blood and guts, okay, to generate a lot of business in that one source. Give me something that gives a lot of blood and guts to give you 5, 10, 15 deals a year.
Door knocking.
Door knocking. Who said that? Maha. That's a lot of effort, right? It's work, right? Hey, we came into this business for flexibility. Then we got to go out and work to create this business. Okay, so good example is door knocking. Now I decide to eliminate, now I'm getting to 75 transactions, I'm door knocking and working my database, working a lot of hours. Now I decide, hey, I could eliminate 2 or 3 sources, right? Door knocking gives me 10 deals, but there's a lot of blood and guts involved. Now at that point, I can eliminate that source, okay? You look at all your sources and you say, where am I investing a lot of time where now I can eliminate and have a little bit more freedom, or invest a little bit more in the office and not put so much blood and guts into that, okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Would my business become easier?
Yes.
Okay, you got 10 sources, you start eliminating, you eliminate the door knocking, okay?
Cold calling.
Maybe you eliminate cold calling. So would I work as many hours?
No.
If I eliminated the blood and guts of the business because I created so much and I have all these sources, would I have to work as many hours? If I left on vacation, would my business continue running?
Yes.
Think about that. If you're a heavy door knocker, cold caller, and that is the biggest source of business that you have, and you are hurt, you can't work, you are on vacation, you know, is business going to be generated?
No.
No. If I had more income, could I afford to delegate more?
Yes.
If you delegated more and you eliminated the sources that you didn't need to do anymore, what would you do with all that money?
Live.
What would you do with all the free time?
Live.
Live life. Nice. Okay? And what would you do with $500,000 working at 40 hours a week? What would you do? Hey, if you guys start thinking about these things, it's going to get you excited about building your business and having an incredible business 3 to 5 years from now. Listen, real estate doesn't have to be a grind long term. Who's grinding right now?
All of us.
Yeah, you can all raise your hand. You're all grinding. Okay? You don't have to grind forever. You don't have to grind forever. I see a lot of grinding and agents on the go, and just don't stop. Okay? I know you guys see it in here, and you see it all over. I did it. I get it. I understand. I did it for 13 years. You are in building mode right now. You are building your business. But let's make sure that you're doing it the right way, that you guys see the opportunities that get you to, you know, to the level that we would like to see you at. 50 or 75, whatever it is, but working 40 hours a week, doing $500,000 plus. You build one source of business, even if it takes 6 months to build it. You put it on autopilot, okay, and then you move on to the next source. John, figure out expireds, how you're working it, and then put it on autopilot, move on to the next one. Whatever it is, if you want to make it prospecting, that's fine. But eventually, you're going to have to start adding other sources. And then you spend the time learning it and building it so that 3 to 5 years you have 10 or 15 sources of business coming in. There's 100 plus ways of building business in the real estate arena. Okay? There's 100 plus ways. But you only need 10 for now. You only need 10 to do your 50 transactions plus a year. Here's my sourcing for, this is 2006, okay? I got sources for 2007, all my years in the business. Watch. Here I have about 15 sources of business. I'll just give you some. Agent referrals, 14 transactions in 2006, okay? Newspaper, 9 closed transactions. Cold call, 4 closed transactions because at that point I stopped cold calling. Okay? Expireds, 13 closed transactions, okay, in 2006 from expireds. For sale by owners, 7 closed transactions. Internet, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 18 closed transactions on internet. Sign calls, 17 closed transactions on sign calls alone in 2006. Okay? Yellow pages, 7 closed transactions in 2006. Did I have multiple sources coming in? Mm-hmm. If I stopped prospecting for a few days, would business still come in?
Yeah.
You guys get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes.
All right. So how many sources of business do you have? You got to start thinking about that. How long have you been stuck on just one source of business, okay, and not move on to the next one? You got to figure this out. Are you clear on what's going to be your next source? What is your next project? It's what I'm working on in the business. Okay, I'm clear on one source. I'm working on it until we get it figured out. Then we move on to the next one. Listen, I believe, okay, that you can make $500,000 a year working 40 hours a week. I believe that. I know it, right? I believe in you. You can do this. You have the support here. You have the environment. You have the right influences going on. You have everything that you need to build that business. So what is holding you back? What's holding you back to get to 50 or 75 transactions? Think about that. Say it again. Sales? Ourselves. Okay, good. So if it's you holding you back, what are the changes that you're going to make? We can do it. We could do this together. We could have a lot of fun doing it, and then most importantly, make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Who wants to make a lot of money?
I do.
All right. Well, then let's turn the music on.